Good evening. My name is Odie Hawkins, and as scheduled, we are once again here to do a reading of columns that I wrote for the African Times newspaper, 1996, 1999. But before I get into that, the readings incidentally take place on Monday and Tuesday, usually. Last week we missed Monday because we were doing something else. Zola Selena Hawkins, my wife, producer, director, source of AI, is smiling at me, which is always a good sign. So she's, yeah, okay, I'll do that. People have asked from time to time, what's your first book, the first book you've ever had published? And I've always said, Ghetto Sketches, which was published in 1972. Actually, that was not the first book I had published, that I self-published. It was one called Me and Them, that was published in 1969.
Mm-hmm.
I was living in Compton, California, on Cocoa Street, 1969. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I had done something. I had a book published.
Well, that's the way most people do feel when they do their first book or second book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They feel on top of the world.
Look at me, Mom! Top of the world! Well, I didn't get blown up, so... Anyway, coming back to the columns. This evening, the column is this. And there it is. I'm calling it Planet Rhythms. And I'll let the piece explain itself. It's all around us. We hear the drumming of circumcision ceremonies, advertising the latest sports vehicle, Bata ensembles, music from Los Angeles, New York, Havana, of course, San Juan, Kingston, Cologne, San Salvador, Buenos Aires, London, Lisbon, Madrid, Cairo, Calcutta, Stockholm, everywhere. We are constantly reminded that Africa gave birth to the rhythms in this world in many shapes and forms. Coltrane, Babatunde Olatunji, Ravel, Stravinsky, Ravi Shankar, Billy Higgins, Horace Tapscott, Armando Peraza, Mongo Santamaria, Carlos Mozo, Carlos Patato Valdez. It goes on and on and on. I've just named names: Ray Charles, Stevie Wonder, Charlie Parker, Dizzy Gillespie, Manolo, Subba Lakshmi, Calais, Tito Puente, Atahualpa, Yuba Yungo, Sun Ra, Cecil Taylor, Lazarus Kwanzaa, Sufi, Soul, Mambo, Cubano, Bomba, Yo, that's now. Just names that are indicative of how Africanized this world has been, as long as there's been an Africa supplying us with players, with musicians, with, as Carlos Patato said one day, we all got a rhythm, man. We all got a rhythm, and we started it, because didn't it start in East Africa? Huh? So that's what he said. The 6 Mbira players, the thing you play with your hand, Baulinyako, Hurochui Mude, Kozma Magaya, and Cheka Cheshirwari, all leaders of their own ensemble in the native Zimbabwe, plus one courageous white guy, ethnomusicologist Paul Berlinder, were the triggers for streams of consciousness, which is what I'm giving you at this point, sort of, a stream of consciousness. We, Zola Selena, Indugo, Billy Higgins, Amdi, and others sat there enchanted by the musical magic that the men and the woman from Zimbabwe were weaving. It was indeed magic, or perhaps any gathering of Americans where misraised children, popcorn, candy, and ringing cell phones were non-existent might be considered magical. It was called Music in the Life of Africa and took place on the UCLA campus, Fowler Museum, November 7th, 1999. In one of those great bursts of interinstitutional cooperation, in this instance, between the Fowler Museum and the California African American Museum and the Calcutta Museum of Art, entitled The Heritage of African Music. The general public is offered the opportunity to experience a range of musical traditions organized around 5 areas of musical scope: politics, religion, family, community, work, and recreation. The pomp and circumstance of a Ghanaian royal court orchestra, Swahili love ballads performed at weddings, the deeply revolutionary songs of the South African anti-apartheid movement, the tonal clarity of the West African balafona played by musicians called Jali, also griots, as well as Tanzanian work songs using fiddles. Indeed, the 3 previously mentioned museums are inviting us to celebrate African music throughout the year. Watermelon juice is so good. It's officially called the Heritage of African Music and will feature 3 major exhibitions at the California African American Museum, the Los Angeles County Museum of Art, and the Fowler Museum of Cultural History. Music in the Life of Africa at the Fowler Museum of Cultural History. It starts at November 7th until July 16th. Rhythms of the Soul. This is African instruments in the diaspora at the California Museum, African American Museum. The Heritage of African Music is supported by the National Endowment for the Humanities, dedicated expanding American understanding of history and culture. Commercials over. Back to the spell of weaving, of the spell weaving Imbira masters from Zimbabwe. There were long moments in the weaving when we felt we were being woven into a trance state. It was obvious from the wonderful expressions around us. There were vocal accompaniment to some of the pieces played. The language is Shona, and of course, after so many years of being intimately connected to the Imbira, the songs were like extensions of the Imbira's music. Fowler is about 300 seats. There were at least twice that number in attendance. We paid special attention to the children who were clustered on the steps stage left. Childishly, they surrendered to every nuance that the music offered. When the music said, "Shake your shoulders," they shook their shoulders. When it said, "Roll your eyes around in your head like marbles," they rolled their eyes like marbles. And when the Imbira said, "Gently close your eyes and think of paradise," we can be certain that a few of them wandered around the suburbs of heaven before coming back. Mm-hmm. So-called exotic African music that has been given the world rhythmic hips to lean on since the beginning, is beginning to receive its propers. For addictive rhythm and other enduring myths about African music, well, check it out.
And of course.
And the beat goes on.
And the beat goes on. And this was back in 1999.
1996.
96, or 1996.
96 to 99.
Okay.
Somewhere there.
Okay, right. So, don't rush out to go to the events that mentioned in...
Oh, that's been done.
It's been done.
The new one's coming up. We know that.
They're very, very true. Definitely.
Yes.
And so... your website, www.odiehawkins.com. And what did you also have to say?
Can I mention this before we leave?
Yes, please.
Some of our friends have sent some of us their books. Right here is Noveline Smith, who has a new book, The Last Lady Standing in Ujima Village. Very interesting story about a sister who managed to go up against the bureaucracy and win. Here's Tony Gleason, and this is Captain Bennett. We are exchanging books with each other because that's what we do, we write books. So you were saying?
Yes, indeed, and we wish to support each other in our endeavors.
It.
Yes.